Look, for me, Barcelona is an interesting case because they have a history of a fantastic collective play, and on top of that came Messi to make differences. Today, it looks like they play and they wait for Messi to do something, and that basic strength of the team play has a bit gone. And you think, when will Messi get the ball to do something, you know? And before, the music, the basic music, was that fantastic team play that you were difficult to catch the ball. And then on top of that came Messi. Today it looks to me they've lost the charisma. And you can ask a question, how much is the failure of the last 2 years in the Champions League in that team? And it looks to me from outside, you know, they have lost a bit charisma, like our partner said, that the team has lost something. And you could see even in the last game where we spoke about with the 3-1 defeat, there was no response at 3-1. And you could see before, you would always think Barcelona will come back. And now at 3-1, you know they will not come back. No, I didn't speak about Griezmann. Griezmann has a fantastic attitude and he's a great player. I think on longer term he will adapt because he's ready to fight for the team. At the moment, I personally believe he tries too much to be a team player and forgets his own talent, you know. And he wants so much to be accepted. If you look at the history, last year he was supposed to go to Barcelona. In the end, he decided to stay at Atletico Madrid. He comes back this year and he feels guilty. And when I see him play, I see Griezmann in the French national team and I see Griezmann at Barcelona. At the moment, we do not see the real Griezmann. You know, so that is that down to the fact that he doesn't feel comfortable or not, but he wants to do for the team and he forgets a little bit to express his own talent. And at the moment, must say as well that Barcelona is not firing on all cylinders like before, so it's more difficult for him as well. Look, at the end, it's always a coach who is responsible. Is guilty, is not always responsible. There's a difference between being guilty and responsible, you know. As we said, Valverde doesn't make the decision on who comes in. He has to do the best with what he has. So what we speak about raises many questions. Who has the final word when you buy a player? Secondly, is this really the player that the team needs? And it doesn't look that in the recent seasons they bought the players they really needed. As we spoke about, they never replaced Xavi, you know, and Iniesta. And they bought players who, when they buy him, you don't know where he really will play. And thirdly, I would say as well, in today's football, you become very quickly a star. And there's more money than good players who strengthen the club, you know. So very quickly, a guy who plays 3-4 top games, he makes 100 million, 140 million. After you go to Barcelona, you have to perform in a top level team, and that's a different level. Because that demands a mental attitude, that to deal with pressure, to deal with other big players, to have the personality to deal with that, and that comes out later. So it raises many, many questions, but all the teams have that problem today in football. It's the first time when you look at the number of goals scored that you see the Spanish teams are at the bottom. Barcelona scored 4 goals, Real Madrid 3, you know, since the start of the season. We have never seen that before. So everybody, all the big clubs, face that problem when they lose a big player. We have a case of Ronaldo at Real Madrid. Where is the player who can replace Ronaldo? You know, and that's one of the big problems in the modern game today. Who makes decisions? Who to buy? And where are the players who can keep the big clubs at that level? They're top of the league, they're top of their group, and they play like a team in crisis because their game is too slow, there is no dynamic, in the last 30 meters it's too individual, and every time they lose the ball, it looks like they can concede a goal on counter-attack because they cannot deal with pace against the opponent. So certainly the second half will be different, but there's something there that shows you that the team lacks dynamic, lacks energy, lacks confidence, and that came out in the first half. We had an indication after 80 minutes, Barcelona performed 97 kilometers and Slavia Prague 109. That's 12 kilometers difference. I've never seen that, such a big difference after 80 minutes. That makes 84 box to box difference. When you count from box to box is 70 meters. 12 kilometers is 84 box to box. And that physical difference shows that Barcelona tonight was beaten really physically and had not enough pace. And in fact, when they put Semedo on the left, in the first half Semedo was dangerous on the right. On the left they lost even more of the danger on the right because they had to put Alba out. And it looked like it was a poor night for Barcelona. It's a shame because they could qualify basically definitely tonight. And when you play at home, you play against Slavia Prague and you miss that chance, it's difficult to take for them. You could see that on their faces.